Salutations everyone, and today we're going to be talking about Black Ops 3. We had the official trailer, the announcements, all the information, all of the interviews and stuff has come out today. We got to see some of the gameplay, mostly of the campaign, but some of it was multiplayer, and we have a lot of multiplayer information and a lot to talk about. So I sifted through all of the things to get you guys the rundown on the good and the bad coming with Black Ops 3, as well as some, like, you know, not good nor bad, kind of who cares things. So we'll get that out of the way. There's a 4-player co-op campaign. Not worth mentioning, neither good nor bad, but is the first time in Call of Duty history that there is a 4-player co-op campaign. And the weapon customization now will allow for user-designed paint jobs on your gun. So we get our own paint jobs, 64 layers, more than they ever had with emblem editors in the past. No word yet if this is replacing emblem editors, if you're going to be able to create emblems, or if this is just paint, or if there are going to be emblems whatsoever. So just thought I'd put that out there. So let's start with the good. It's Treyarch. There's one good thing for it. It's Treyarch. They made Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, my favorite Call of Duties in that order. Easily, you could, even if you like Modern Warfare 2 or COD 4 or World at War, what have you, out of the last 5 games since Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 are easily the best 2 of the series. And the same team has come, you know, working on this. In case you care, the campaign takes place in the year 2060, so a few years removed from the second game, so I assume we'll be playing some of the same characters. That is part of the same in the trilogy, after all. And if you want to make your jokes about, oh man, this looks like Titanfall 2, or oh man, they're copying Advanced Warfare, or Crisis, or Deus Ex, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it, and I'll keep saying it again. They're not copying anybody. They've been working on this game for 3 years. They've been working on this since before Titanfall came out. Well before anyone knew what Advanced Warfare was going to be. This is Treyarch. This is what they were going to do. Remember, back 4 or 5 years ago, people were clamoring for exosuits and laser guns and crazy shit. And a lot of games have those now, so don't be surprised if we still have a couple churned out before people start asking for something else, and that won't come to fruition in our games for another 4 years. That's just the way that game making works. They're not copying Deus Ex or Titanfall or Advanced Warfare. Sure, they might be taking things from like Crisis or like their older Call of Duty titles, as well as their new ideas that they had that other people just happen to have. That's the way game making works, guys. They didn't make this in the last couple months going, man, we gotta copy Advanced Warfare and Titanfall. No, that's not how it works. You're a fucking idiot if you believe that. So it's Treyarch, and another good thing is that it's current gen only. That finally we have a current gen Call of Duty. We won't be bugged down by having the game having to be scaled down so it'll work and fit on a 360 disc or a PlayStation 3 disc, and work on their engines and work on their hardware. Finally, we have a Call of Duty that will only work and that will only play on the current generation of consoles. That is a big plus that'll make the game better. And if you're going to be crying and whimpering like, oh man, I hope they boarded the 360 or PlayStation 3, first of all, renew your AARP card and get with the fucking times, because we've had these current gen consoles for over a year and a half now. Just get with it, all right? Leave those old pieces of junk in the past. Current gen is the way to go. Just get one. It's easy solve. So let's go with a little bit of the bad. Skill-based matchmaking is coming back, unfortunately. They said it's going to be similar to how it was in Black Ops 2, so hopefully it's not going to be as bad as it was in Ghosts or Advanced Warfare. But it's still skill-based matchmaking. That is only going to be a bad thing. It has no positive qualities to it whatsoever. The game developers think that if you keep people the same skill playing against each other, it won't scare off the newbies because they won't get pwned. The newbies will always get pwned. That's just how it works, and they don't care. If you're new to the game, you're gonna be doing bad, and you're still gonna have fun because you're gonna be getting better, and that's just the way things work. And then you'll get good, and then there'll still be new kids for you to stop. It should be localized in your connection. Play with people that are close to you so you can have a good connection. Skill-based matchmaking throws that out the window, but hopefully it is as minimal as possible, but it's still a terrible and stupid thing to be in this game. One more positive, there are no exosuits. No exosuits. But with the bad, there's still going to be hippity-hoppity Mario Frogger jumping bullshit. It's just not going to be with exosuits. It's going to be less jumpy, more parkour. Black Ops 3, it's about chaining movements. So you won't be able to like jump as high as you can in Advanced Warfare. There's no double jump. Think air dashing, not air boosting. A following scenario, for instance, is possible. You can sprint, vault over cover, jump onto a wall, run along it, kill someone while running, notice an enemy on your radar, jump off, boost in the air, spin around, land on the ground, initiate a reversed power slide, and kill the player who is running behind you. So that's, you know, it's more fluid. It's not like sharp angles and jumping and boosting and very, very quick things. It's just more like it's curvy. It's fluid. It's still bad, granted, because that's not what Call of Duty should be, but it's a little less jumpy, more parkour-esque, more fluid, more conducive to cool-looking trick shots, I would imagine, and less just boost jumping all over the place. But it's still going to be there. They're calling it a 360-degree momentum-based system that allows multiplayer combatants to quickly grapple environment surfaces, power slide across landscapes, and cling to walls. That's a bummer. It doesn't look, and people are going to say, oh, you can wall ride, that's like Titanfall. I've played Titanfall, and from what we have seen, very little of the wall running in this game. It seems a bit faster, less clunky, and Titanfall is just way too watered down to compare to a Call of Duty, guys. It's way too watered down, it's way too basic, it's way too vanilla. Call of Duty is much more complicated. Not to say that wall running or like jumping and clinging and doing all this stuff is good. It's bad because that's not what Call of Duty should be, but it's not going to be as bad, it looks like, as an Advanced Warfare, but still, it is a step back. So, yeah, and let's go with another one with the good. There is, the zombies will have its own storyline and a full XP-based progression system. So that sounds different to the zombies. The zombies have always had like some sort of like underlying story that you kind of have to like really pay attention to get a hold of. But this seems like it's going to have much more of a linear progression, an obvious story progression, as well as XP-based progression, which would remind somebody of the Horde style things from Ghosts, or the different zombie-esque type of thing from Advanced Warfare, but still the zombies that we all know from Treyarch. I'm not a big zombie guy myself, so go to someone else's opinion if you're super into zombies on Call of Duty, because that's not my big thing, so I wouldn't have a very good perspective on it. Another good thing, no supply drops. They've rid supply drop. There's no supply drops whatsoever. So that's good. None of that monetizing pay-to-play bullshit with these super OP hole puncher guns that you need to have, and that's ludicrous. Another good thing, theater mode is returning. It's been absent since Black Ops 2. Was the last game that had it, and people were like, oh, it's ruining the connection because they're always doing this theater stuff, and the last few games didn't have theater mode, and the connection was still shit. So obviously, theater mode was not the problem, and it really doesn't appeal to many people, but to YouTubers like myself, theater mode is definitely a plus. So let's that's all of the good. I've ran out of the good, so let's go to the bad. Only a couple of things, but they're big ones. MOBA characters. So there's no more generic soldier for you to build. There is no more create a class in the way that we have been used to having from COD 2 till now. It's completely different. It's going to be much more like a MOBA in that you pick from 9 different characters to play as. So you won't get to customize your character's look, and you won't get to customize their special, unique abilities and stuff. It's going to be much more like a MOBA or like your characters from Destiny. They each have their own special things, which is bad because that creates imbalance. It works for MOBAs and RPGs and stuff, but for a competitive first-person shooter, that throws off the imbalance because one is definitely going to be better for another, whether it's only for a specific game type or if it's just for their specific weapon or ability. There's going to be one or two clear-cut better ones to use, and that's just going to throw off the imbalance and make things less fun. So you no longer play as generic soldiers. So before the match begins, you pick a unique character, each with his or her own unique power and weapon. You only get to pick one though. So each class is going to have a power or a weapon that you choose from, and you will unlock that like you would a kill streak. It sounds like a very, very easy to get thing, like a UAV. People were saying they get it as often as they would a UAV. So, you know, a little bit faster than you would unlock your super in Destiny. So but it's still in that vein. It's treated like a miniature score streak. So there are 4 specialists that have been revealed so far, with at least another 5 coming on the way. That's obvious DLC stuff that they could be adding later, would be new characters. So one of the characters is called Ruin, and his weapons are gravity spikes, which is like the ground pound from the Titan class in Destiny. If you guys played that, allows him to leap in the air and slam on the ground with an area of effect shockwave and kill people. His power is overdrive, which gives you super speed for a short amount of time. So obviously his weapon sounds a bit more useful in that case. Another character, his name is Cereth, and Cereth it's basically the hunter golden gun from Destiny. You get a high caliber revolver that one-shot kills enemies, and it penetrates as well, so you can get collaterals. And so that's gonna be the weapon, and her ability. It's a chick, I guess. Forgot to mention Cereth. Cereth's ability is combat focus, which triggers a bonus multiplier to her streak points. So the score streak based system is going to be returning from Black Ops 2. So if you do an objective, that'll get you points and get you to your streak, which is good, but we're talking about these MOBA character things, but this power will give you a multiplier, so you'll get those streaks faster. So that's definitely a thing out there. And another class is Outrider, and Outrider's weapon is the Sparrow, which is a compound bow with explosive bolts. They showed that in one of the trailers. And her ability is Vision Pulse, which is a wall hack. You target all enemy locations, allowing you to see them through walls. I don't know how long it's supposed to last, or if it only works for you or for your whole team, but that sounds really imbalanced, especially when you compare it to the other people's powers. The bow might be not as good as the other guy's weapons, but yeah. So Reaper is a killer robot, so I guess gender neutral here, and it says his weapon is a scythe, and they call it a scythe, but it's actually a gun, which would throw people off. It's a minigun that emerges from his arm, and they show that in the trailer as well, but it looks like that's from the campaign. His ability is called Glitch, and it allows him to flash back wherever he was a few seconds ago. So that's really weird. I have no idea how that's going to work in multiplayer, to turn back time. And especially when it deals with the connections, that just sounds like a bad idea from a technical standpoint, let alone a gameplay standpoint. So I don't know how they're going to implement that, or what exactly that entails. If you die, can you turn back time and you're not dead, or what, or if it has limitations. So the specialists also aren't tied to loadouts. So you get their own guns, but those things are specific to those characters. And you can't change them in the middle of a match. So if you pick Cereth, you can't switch to Outrider. If you pick Reaper, you can't switch to Ruin, for instance. So if you pick one guy, or chick, or robot for the game, you can't change to someone else because you want a different ability or super weapon. And so yeah, that's about as much as we know right now. Oh, and Nuketown is coming back.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Hasn't been confirmed, but they're selling a Black Ops 3 Nuketown t-shirt, which is about as telling as you can get. And wouldn't be a surprise because it's been the last 2 Black Ops games, and everybody loves fucking Nuketown. Alright, so that's the information, as well as little bits and pieces of my opinion. Overall, I'm rather disappointed with this, since this was Treyarch. You were our last hope for the Call of Duty franchise. It's still going to make $1 billion whether you and I buy it, but whether it's good or not, we'll see. There is an open beta that is speculated to come out between 1 and 2 months before the game comes out and last between 1 and 2 weeks. So if you pre-order, you get in the beta, and this is the first time there's been a beta for a Call of Duty game since World at War, but that wasn't open, that was still a closed beta, and this you do have to have pre-order to get it, but nonetheless, a beta, so some people, I guess we could just pre-order it, get the code, play the beta. If we don't like it, then cancel our pre-order. That's always an option that seems like we're gonna have this time around. So at least we'll get to test it before we get to knock on it or praise it. But overall, there's still a lot that we haven't seen, especially when it comes to multiplayer. But there's a lot of bad things that is to be worried about.